friends, today we are going to start new subjects with the drug and dice. In the drug and dice, we will cover drugs components and dice components. Friends, this is the applied component, applied part of the applied component and applied part. In the drug and dice, having the practical part and theoretical part also, same as the chemistries other subjects. Benefit is that this applied component having the questions papers will be asked, or questions exam will be taken on the college basis, and non-applied part will be questions papers will be from the university departments. That's why applied parts will very helpful by teacher, and it will be helpful you to improve your grade also. Non-applied part question will be asked from where we don't understand, because we can only know that the last year's question papers, but applied part will be question will be asked from the college departments. So take a serious about this subject, but don't fear about this, because it is applied part helpful to you to improve your grade systems. So drug and dice having the 4 units. Drug and dice having the 4 units, that is the general introductions, route of drug administrations, pharmacodynamics, CNS drugs, and the second unit having the analgesic, antipyretic and anti-inflammatory drugs, antihistaminic drugs, cardiovascular drugs, anti-diabetic drugs, anti-Parkinson's drugs, drugs for respiratory systems. Unit third having the introduction to the dyestuffs chemistry and the classification based on the applications. Fourth unit is the color and the chemical constitution of dyes, means having the 4 unit, that is the 2 unit from the drugs and 2 from the dyes. 2 from the drugs, 2 from the dyes. These are the 4 units are there. So drug part is the very helpful, it is a chemistry part. Dyes also very helpful, it is a chemistry part. Many of the industry in the India and all over the world having the demand of the chemistry, and so that they can easily conduct industry, handle the industry research and the R&D departments. There is need of the chemistry. It is the application of the chemistry, it can be useful in the drug and dyes industry also. So it is a very important part. You can do the job in the drugs industry, dye industry after completion of the degree, so that we can know that what are the basics of the drugs and what are the basics of the dyes, why they are useful in the chemistry. These are the general introductions. You can write down this part: definition of the drugs, source of the drugs, requirements of ideal drug, classification of drug based on the therapeutic actions. Second part is nomenclature of the drugs, generic name, brand name, systematic names. Definition of the following parts were pharmacon, pharmacology, pharmacophore, prodrugs, half-life, efficiency, LD50, ED50, GL50, therapeutic index. Brief idea of the following terms: receptor, agonist, antagonist, drug receptor interaction, drug potency, bioavailability, drug toxicity, drug addiction, spurious drugs, misbranded drugs, adulterated drugs, pharmacopoeia. Next, route of the drug administration and dosage form, in that oral and parenteral routes, and with advantages and disadvantages, formulations and the combination of the formulation, different dosage form. Next one is the pharmacodynamic agents, that is the brief introductions about the following pharmacodynamics, dynamics agents and the study with respect to their chemical structure, chemical class, therapeutic uses, and side effects. Next one is the CNS drugs, that is classification based on the pharmacological action, CNS depressant, CNS stimulant, concept of the sedative and hypnosis, anesthesia, phenytoin, hedontoin, that is thiamidone, alprazolam, levetiracetam, amphetamine, and chloropramine. Next one is the analgesic, antipyretic, and anti-inflammatory drugs. In that, analgesic and antipyretic morphine, tramadol, aspirin, paracetamol. Anti-inflammatory drugs are the mechanism of inflammation, various inflammation condition. Example: prednisolone, sodium diclofenac, aceclofenac. Antihistaminic drugs: diphenylhydrazine, cetirizine, and chlorpheniramine maleate. Cardiovascular drugs classification based on the pharmacological actions: isosorbitate, dinitrate, valsartan, atenolol, hydroxyphenyl, amlodipine, furosemide, rosuvastatin. Anti-diabetic drugs are the insulin therapy, glibenclamide, metformin. Anti-Parkinson drugs are the ethoprazine hydrochloride, levodopa, synthesis of levodopa from aniline. And drugs for respiratory systems are the bronchodilator, decongestants, that is the salbutamol, pseudoephedrine, oxymetazoline, codeine phosphate, salbutamol. Mode of the actions are barbiturates, atenolol, diphenhydrazine, glibenclamide. Third one is the diastub, and that is the dyes. Important landmark in the history of the dyes: natural coloring matters and their limitations: henna, turmeric, kesar, chlorophyll, indigo, alizarin from roots of the madder plant, logwoods, tyrians, purple. Synthesis dyes: important molestones, that is the moving diazotazone, aniline, yellow, Congo red. Synthesis and the structure of the indigo. Dispersed dyes: fluorescent brightness, porcine reactive dyes, remazole dyes. Next one, definition of the dyes, that is the color. Other thing, explanation of nomenclature and the commercial dyes with at least one example suffix. Classification of dyes, that is the nitro dyes, okay, azo dyes, diazo dyes. Classification based on the applications: definition, fastness, sulfur dyes, dispersed dyes, reactive dyes. Color and chemical constituent of the dyes: in that absorption, visible light, color of wavelength, absorb complementary colors, valence bond theory, non-textile uses of dyes, structural feature of the sulfates, indicators, analytical reagents, optical brightness, general idea and important characteristics, organic pigments, general idea about the classification of organic pigments with the suitable example. These all about the, there are some links also there, all about the drugs and dyes. So friends, on the upcoming lectures we will discuss on the drug and dyes as well as the organic chemistry 2 part. Okay, thank you friend, thank you very much.